This is a Rogue Media Network podcast.
Watch us fight all through the night, deep in the heart of Texas. The trailer park is nice and dark, deep in the heart of Texas. That drinks his brew and he spits his chew, deep in the heart of Texas. The TV blares, but no one cares, deep in the heart of Texas. Here we go!
Hey, looky there. Here we are. Welcome to King of the Hill podcast. I'm Mike.
And I'm Rusty.
He's Rusty. He's alive.
I'm alive still. We're here.
He's had a rough few weeks, but he's there.
We're getting
I was in a
there.
box. Hello, Artie. Hello.
Hello to Instagram as well. We're also live
Hello
on
to
Instagram. Anybody that's watching
Collectively.
Instagram, you can watch on Instagram or YouTube, whichever one's easiest for you. Somebody asked, what's more beneficial? Both of them are beneficial because anywhere we're getting traffic is beneficial. So.
I mean, YouTube's always best, but
YouTube
but
works.
you feel free to watch it wherever you want to. We'll make up the difference.
Yeah.
You know, I'm very dark over here, but that's okay. We're gonna live with it. All right, we have officially finished season 6, and now we're on to 7.
Season 7.
7 of 13, correct?
7 of 13 seasons.
7 of 13.
This, I believe, is we're entering the all digital era now. I believe everything from here on out is digitally generated, or not generated, but digitally animated.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure season 7 is about 2002. Yeah, 2002. So I really think this is where they went all digital. I could be wrong, like I said, but.
Well,
Pretty
either
sure.
way, we are at season 7, episode 1, 7 ABE01 in the year of our Lord. Thank God. Get your freak off.
Get your freak off. Hey, and
off.
actually, this, if I'm not mistaken, according to the number on the Bois YouTube podcast RSS feed that's on
Okay.
YouTube,
Yep.
this is our 300th episode.
Really? You and I? Or King of the Hill?
No, this is our, 3, because it uploads anything that you've uploaded to Megaphone to
Yep.
go to all of the sites. This is like the 300th official released episode.
That's a lot. That's a lot of episodes.
And that's including all of the fun stuff and everything, because this is actually episode for King of the Hill. This is episode 127.
Oh, okay.
So that's how much extra stuff we've done.
Yeah,
we've done over 150 extra episodes for you guys
more than doubled.
outside.
Yeah, the
of the actual total.
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn, man, we're working.
Wow. Hey, Justin. Hello. How are you? I think
hey,
Rusty is
Justin.
feeling better. He's not feeling great, but he's feeling better.
I'm better.
Yeah.
I'm not a pessimistic person, so any better I feel is great. You know, I feel great.
There you go.
In comparison to how I felt weeks ago, I feel like $1 million.
$1 million compared to the other. Yeah. I
Yeah.
get that. Did you get the notes? I thought this was going to be a season. Yeah, Artie, we're
I got
gonna
the notes.
we're doing a little out of order, but yeah, we will get to that in just a little bit.
I definitely have the notes.
Just to let you know, we're gonna go ahead and get through season 7, episode 1. It's been a little while since we've done a full episode, so get this done. See how Rusty's feeling, and then
yeah, we'll get through.
we're
some
gonna
stuff.
do like King of the Hill does and swap episodes around. All right, so Get Your Freak Off aired May 12th, 2002. No bell, no yell.
No bell,
no
no
yell at the end of
yell.
6. No bell, no yell now.
So I guess this
Really letting me down, bell and yell.
our theory is getting shit
our theory's
on
screwed at
every
this
single
point. Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Our theory is just gone.
No theory anymore.
Yeah, we don't know what's real anymore.
This is directed by Tricia Garcia and Clay Hall.
Yep.
It's written by Mike Judge, Greg Daniels, and Garland Testa. I've never heard
Garland
I've never
Testa.
heard
Yeah,
Tricia Garcia or Garland Testa.
Garland Testa.
Clay Hall helped
is a
direct
writer.
the last one.
Wrote on Roseanne
Oh,
in the 80s and wrote Caroline in the
loose
City.
meat
Wrote
sandwiches.
on Caroline in the City
Yeah.
in '95. That's a show I've never heard of. But
Caroline in the City?
Yeah, I never heard of that. So also, I want to point out this is actually a very voice actor heavy episode.
Has a lot of voices in it.
You got Mila Jovovich, you've got Elijah Dushku, you got Deborah Messing,
Yeah.
and then you got Elizabeth Perkins. Elizabeth Perkins is the only one that I didn't know.
I mean, I know that the guys that are listening to it can't see this, but I mean, look at all the freaking notes here.
Yeah, it's a
I
note.
mean,
it's a noted episode
It's
for
so
sure.
many. This one took me, I don't know, an hour and a half, something like that, to get all the notes ready to go. Okay, so we start on Rainy Street, and it's just kind of this pan down the street. We see some people outside. The weather's nice. They're out talking.
It's that cinematic season opener. Most season openers fuck the yell and the bell thing. Like our theory
Oh,
on
my
that's
yell and my bell.
pretty thrown out the window now. But they always start off each episode for the beginning of a season with like that cinematic
with that
sweep
cinematic
down the
sweep.
street or
This one's
over
not
the
over
city.
the entire city. This is just down Rainy Street.
Yeah, just
so
down Rainy Street.
we see some people actually outside. We see a guy washing his car. We see kids on bikes. And then you see Bobby just casually skating down the street listening to his music. So he's got his Walkman on, his Discman, I guess it
His
would be at this
Discman.
point because it's a CD. And he's on roller skates. I don't know that I've ever seen Bobby on roller skates before. But
no, he is on
there he is.
rollerblades, which is very appropriate for the era. I
Is it
remember
blades,
there was a
you think?
big blades. I imagine
it's
he's
got to
on
be blades.
He's
right,
probably
at
on
this point.
blades.
Yeah, it's probably blades, not skates.
But I wouldn't put, and that's the thing. I see Bobby. I see these videos all the time on social media of some skate place out in Atlanta that went viral
Yeah.
where they're all like doing like the dancing and stuff with their hand on each other's shoulder and they're all
Sure.
like in sync. I see Bobby doing that as an adult.
Oh,
maybe
absolutely.
with the four wheels,
Bobby's a
the
fast
old
skater.
school ones.
I know a guy here in town who's one of those like speed skaters.
Yeah, I know him too. I've known him for a really long time.
You know who I'm
Joey.
talking about? Yeah, Joey. Yeah.
I've known Joey since he was a little kid. I was
Joey-
friends with one of his. I was actually friends because his uncle is
Gonzalez, right?
Gonzalez.
Yeah.
His uncle is only like 4 or 5 years older than him.
Oh, okay.
So I know his uncle.
I was in a box that says I feel like Bobby would be a scooter kid. Yeah, it's absolutely true. Not a motorized scooter, like an actual like razor scooter.
Yeah, and then we got
trying to do
Luke.
tricks with it, spin it, and all that stuff. Yeah,
And then we got Luke in chat said for
Oh,
kids
yeah.
today you had to hold it flat or it would skip. Yeah,
That's
definitely.
true.
You would
That's
you would be
true.
listening to the song and it
We're
would
talking
skip and
Discman
it would
now.
jump to
Yeah.
like the next song
Uh-huh.
or something.
Yeah, it was not a great invention. No, it wasn't great.
No. Well, they
Uh,
did end up having the shockproof ones, but even
yes,
even them
but
even
even
them
that,
weren't
yeah,
foolproof.
it's still
shockproof.
jacked off.
Yeah.
Ooh, boy, that
Still
was close.
jacked off,
up.
yeah.
Sorry, up, not off.
Yeah.
After he took his chin, yeah. Bobby has shown his ability to ice skate before, says
Yeah,
Artie.
he has.
Yeah, okay.
He did, yeah.
And then Luke said, hold it flat. Justin says he remembers having to hold it flat. This is great, guys. I love the little chat we got going on here.
Yeah, we got a nice little chat going.
All right, so the next thing we go to is Nancy's over there sunbathing also. I don't want to miss that. All four guys are in Hank's garage, and Hank is working on a shoe tree, the sexiest of trees.
A big shoe tree too, like
That's right. It's like
so.
It almost looks like one of those cat castle things, you know.
Oh, you're talking about like the things that the cats claw up?
That's what it
yeah,
looks like,
a
but it's
sharpener
just a
for their
shoe tree.
claws.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so Dale, that's one heck of a shoe tree, Hank. Yep. Peggy's birthday is coming up, and she was hinting that she wanted something for the bedroom. I mean, this is for the bedroom. This is
Yeah, that's. I thought that was
Take your
pretty
shoes
funny.
off, baby.
I don't know that she meant a shoe tree for the bedroom. Brother.
well, honestly, knowing them, she probably did. She probably meant exactly that.
Luke says Hank is so turned on by that tree.
Oh, he loves those big ass
Yeah,
feet.
he got the hard wood for the hard wood.
Hardwood for the big ass feet.
I wonder what wood he used. You think he
it's
used
gotta be
Texas oak?
It's got to be an oak. It can't be a pine that's too soft.
Yes, you saw.
I don't know. I don't
think
know
he's
the
using
difference in
some of them
woods.
good Texas hardwoods.
I know what a pine is. That's about it. All right. So we see from the garage angle, we see Con trying to get down the street, but Bobby's skating in front of him. He's just honking at him. Bobby can't hear squat. And he's get Bobby out of the street. Hank sees it. Bobby, get out of the street. And then Con from his minivan, hey, get out of the road. And then Hank comes over there and he pulls Bobby aside and he goes, Bobby, I can't have you disco dancing in the alley. People are going to think we didn't teach you shame, and I know we have. I mean, that's a fantastic quote.
I like that.
Let's see. It says he grabs Bobby's headphones and he puts them on to see what kind of garbage he's listening to, and he goes, "What is this garbage?" Like because he can't hear himself, and so he's very loud. Bobby says, it's Pimp Franklin. He doesn't need your respect, Dad. He don't pay no man no mind, which I think is just
Pimp Franklin.
I love anytime Bobby repeats stuff that he's heard like that. He tells him, he takes the player from him and just points at the truck and says, "Get in the truck, son." And then as they're backing out, he takes that CD and just chunks it right in the trash.
Right in the trash.
Hank's not playing any games here. He's like, you're going to listen to that crap, I'm going to throw it away.
It's almost like that episode where he put on the headphones and said, it's nothing but toilet sounds.
Toilet sounds. Yeah, he would be – how – okay, so speaking of toilets, I'm sorry. I have to take a slight detour here.
Yeah.
Walking through Walmart yesterday. I spent most of the day cleaning out one room in my house, by the way. It's the old garage that we converted into a room, and it's become just this storage thing. And I had probably a 2x2 foot corner I could go to and work on the computer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so my wife finally got pissed off and said, we're cleaning out that room today. She didn't get pissed off. But and so she and I mean, literally spent all day doing it. And at the end, I needed a couple of things from Walmart, like some storage and stuff, bought some shelving and things like that. Luke wants to know if it's high flow or low flow. And Artie also says, remember they used Boomhauer's camera in the bedroom. That's true, too. Yeah, I do remember that. That was for the bedroom, but they didn't use it the right way.
No. They read the news.
So I'm walking through there, and, they got all the Christmas toys up. $44.97.
Yeah.
You want to guess what this gross-ass, trendy Christmas
I already
present
know what
for
you're talking
kids.
about. Yeah, I've already seen it. It's that skibbity toilet shit.
Skibbity toilet. Yeah. It's $45, and it's a toilet.
Yep.
You lift the lid up, and the guy pops out.
And it says skibbity toilet.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's it.
Asinine. Well, you know what it really shows though? It shows the power of virality on the internet. When you have, it almost reminds me, man, I don't know, probably 5 years ago now when the poop emoji kind of was a hit.
Yeah, it was everywhere. Yeah. People love shit.
My son that year for Christmas asked for poop emoji house shoes.
Yeah.
So we ended up going to the store. I found he had poop emoji house shoes. He had a poop emoji that was motorized that you could drive around the room like a RC poop emoji. He had a poop emoji pillowcase and a little tiny poop emoji soft plush pillow.
Yeah.
And then we got him poop emoji pajamas.
Did you ever dream in your life that was what your kid would want as a toy? Like you had action figures, you had army men, you had, all this stuff.
Not in 100,000 years. Well, that's the thing is kids just the toy thing is really like for my kids, the way they treat toys is if it's not something like enriching to like my kid likes to play in like this play sand. It's like
I know
it's not sand,
but
it's like
together.
moldable and sticks together. Like he would rather play with that than go play with any other toy. And
I was in the box, said he got his daughter the poop emoji pillow.
Yeah. So he was in the same situation I was. Like, everything was just going to shit all at once.
But here's my thing, right? I get the poop emoji. Honestly,
I kind
I
of
get
got
that.
the trend. It was kind of cute,
and it's because of the Emoji Movie and all of the things
that's what it was.
and all the stuff,
that
right?
Emoji Movie.
Skibbity Toilet seems sinister to me for some reason, and I don't know why. I think it's that guy's face.
It seems kind of scammy.
Seems Russian is what it seems to me.
I think
like
that's what
Russian.
it is. It's like some type of Russian propaganda to
dumb down our children,
influence our children
to get in the toilet.
I really don't know. It's just
I don't know what it's telling them to do.
Having a bunch of young kids, I generally understand a lot of the trends that are going on because I have to understand it for them or through them. but the skibbity toilet shit.
Yeah.
I got the Riz thing. I got the Alpha this and
sure.
all that stuff. But the skibbity
I get
toilet,
the wording.
I get
the wording. I get the word trends. I get like you're saying Riz and all that. So I get all that.
I get the lingo stuff.
And I sound 100 when I say all this.
But
the skibbity toilet just seems like a effing nightmare, honestly. And so I don't understand how these kids think it's cute.
It's a fever dream.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It seems very I don't know, Minecraft Roblox kind of thing. You know, somebody just throws something in there and everybody goes, "Ooh, it's a great."
It just seems like ridiculously inappropriate. Blazy Bread on Instagram Live. What's
Blazy
up?
Bread.
Blazy Bread.
All right, so now we're at CD Warehouse. CD Warehouse. I loved. Well, ours was Sound Warehouse. I guess.
Sound Warehouse.
But,
Sam Goodies is where I used to go to
I love
Hastings. Sam Goodies in Hastings.
Sound Warehouse. I went in and I know you guys have heard me say this before, but I would go in and I would look through the cassette tapes. Yeah, that's old. Then
sure it wasn't 8 tracks?
CDs. I did own an 8-track player. Then CDs, and Luke says he had a Sam Goodies. And I would just buy based on the covers of things, you know. And then when Sound Warehouse went out of business, they were having like a clearance sale to get rid of everything. I went and I bought 75% of their shelving and stuff from the store because that was the time that I had the video stores.
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
so all the shelving.
I would anytime anybody went out of business, I'm going to come buy your equipment, you know, that kind of thing. And then I'd go to the we were talking Casey and I were talking about this the other day. I would go to every pawn shop in town and buy up all the DVDs. Like because I could get them for $1 a piece.
Yeah.
And that is cheap-ass inventory.
No, that is cheap
stores,
inventory, for sure.
Okay, so CD Warehouse, and they're looking around in there, and Hank said, when I was your age, we had these things called songs. They were 2-minute stories about people falling in love or burning down Georgia, which I think is a great reference.
That's pretty funny.
But I guess Hollywood decided we needed more criminals yelling about their lady friend's baby place.
That's an odd sentence. That's a T-shirt. That's a T-shirt.
Yeah.
My lady friend's baby place.
And Bobby's
that's like a punk band.
It is lady friend's baby place.
Lady friend's baby place.
Bobby's just behind him. He's got just a stack of CDs in his hand, and he says, "Did you pick out your new album?" And he looks at a CD in the stack, and he goes, "Oh, whoa, red flag, Bobby! I've been advised to listen to this record." It's one of those parental advisory stickers.
I actually have a quick fact for that real fast.
Go for it.
So, appreciate Artie for this fact here. So it says November 1st, 1985, the RIAA, which is all the record companies and stuff like, I guess is it a regulatory agency? I don't know what it is.
No, it's a parental agency that was formed by what's-his-face's wife.
Yeah, that's what I was about to get into. Okay, so the RIAA agreed to put warning labels on certain albums. So there was the Parents Music Resource Center, which was headed by Tipper Gore, which Tipper is Al Gore's wife, if everybody's not familiar with the name Gore. Al Gore was the vice president and presidential nominee for the Democratic Party after...
Funny thing is, the Gores don't mind gore. They just mind sex.
They had Senate hearings and stuff like that. They were talking about the negative influences. What's up, Rusty Shackelford in chat there? They had Senate hearings talking about the negative influence that music has on children. Yeah. The very first label was on 2 Live Crews, banned in the USA, which was released July 24th, 1990. So there you go.
Yeah, I just remember that anytime you put a sticker on one of those things, they would sell better.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well,
it was the exact opposite of what you wanted.
When I was a teenager buying CDs, and you go to Walmart and they have the parental sticker on it, nobody would even ID you at that point.
No,
they would just sell it to you. It didn't mean shit. They would still sell you the albums. I remember the first.
It's like the thing popping up on your screen that says TVMA.
Yeah.
Who's grabbing their kid and throwing them out of the room?
The first explicit music I listened to was through my older sister. She's 6 years older than me.
Yeah.
So when she would come over from England to visit, because she lived with her dad in England. She would come over here to visit the United States. Whenever she would come over, she would bring her fat stack of CDs. She had a big CD case.
Sure.
And my parents didn't care generally what we listened to. I'm sure my mom wouldn't have let me listen to it if she knew what I was listening to.
Right.
But they didn't just hover over you and monitor everything you were listening to. So the first explicit CD I ever listened to was the Eminem's first album
Yeah.
that he released in '99 or whenever it was.
Right.
That's the first toilet sounds that I listened to as a kid.
Yeah.
Was that entire first album.
I don't remember my parents ever checking my music.
No,
you
my
know?
parents never really checked our music either. The only thing that my
Oh,
mom
that's not true.
monitored,
But go ahead.
the only thing that my mom
Oh,
monitored.
yeah, I had a big binder of CDs.
Well, yeah, I had a
Look.
big binder too. I actually have a big binder of DVDs at the house and
Yeah.
Blu-rays. My mom would
Blu-rays.
monitor the video game thing.
Yeah.
And it was only because of the fucking news, and it pissed me off because
Sure.
I got Grand Theft Auto 3 for Christmas one year. No issue. I'm like 11. No issue. Playing the hell out of it. Picking up hookers, shooting people, whatever.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto Vice City came out, the next one in the series.
Rusty
and it was
says Marshall.
all
Rusty says Marshall.
the
I was
Marshall
in a box
LP,
says Slim Shady.
It was whichever one it
Mhm.
was. But they ended up releasing the Vice City game, and it was all in the news.
Mm.
So my mom was influenced by the news, and she was like, well, they say this game makes kids violent. I said, Mom, I've been playing the first one. Am I
Yeah.
violent? Am I hurting anybody? And she's like, no, but I don't think you should play that game. That game's got prostitutes and all this. So what I ended up having to do was borrowing it from a
Prostitutes.
friend and bringing it home and playing it. And she would come in the room and say, well, what are you playing? Oh, I'm just playing a driving game. And I would just be driving
sure.
casually
Sure.
down the street. I turned the game down so she couldn't hear all the people, all the
Yeah.
pedestrians cussing and stuff.
The only thing I can ever remember my parents muting for me like that was here's the difference in our age. My grandmother worked out at the Methodist home. She
Yeah.
was a seamstress,
Yeah.
right? And so she got real close to a lot of the kids, because I mean, there's a lot of sad
There's a
stories
lot
and
of
stuff
sad
out there, and they're
stories,
looking
yeah.
for a parental figure, especially a grandmotherly figure. Hell yeah.
One of my friends' wives used to work out there.
Yeah, it's a tough place. But she got to know a lot of the kids, and so in turn, they would talk to her about music and stuff like this.
Yeah.
And so it was shit. What's his name? Steve Miller Band, the one with the Pegasus on it. And my grandmother bought it for me, took it home, and we listened to it as a family. And then when he says shit or something in it, we packaged it up and took it right back to the store.
Oh,
That's
damn.
that's the only
here we
thing I
go.
can remember ever happening.
Artie's got a little deal here.
Yeah.
I imagine it's a typo too as well. But he said, I got a naked bike race poster that was included in the Queen Jazz album.
Yeah, I remember
Phenomenal
that.
album.
Yeah.
I hung it behind my door until my mom saw it. I'm guessing he meant to say I was 13. I was 13 when I got it, 16 when she saw
Oh
it.
wow, yeah,
So he had it up on the wall for 3 years.
that's crazy.
And then his mom finally notices it.
I mean, I understand parents are looking out for their kids and all that, but these stickers did nothing but make albums sell better.
Yeah, that's all they did.
He says, Bobby, I've been advised to listen to this record. He says they put that sticker on everything. It's part of the artwork. It entices, and he's absolutely right.
Yeah, he's
I mean,
right.
Bobby is
Yeah, he's right.
100% right. So they go up to, and I don't know if you remember these, the listening stations that they had inside
yeah,
the music
I
stores.
remember those.
Like you could turn a dial or whatever, or they'd give you the CD to listen to there.
I remember
They put on the headphones.
Yeah, I remember the video game stuff too.
Oh yeah,
I only
sure.
remember it because you would stand there, like my mom would be like, all right, I'm going to let you sit here and look at
Yeah,
video games.
Yeah.
And you would be like this, and then your mom would come
Mhm.
pick you up, and you'd be like, I can't move my neck, Mom.
That's right, 'cause you've
Like,
been there
I
forever,
can't
yeah,
move my neck.
yeah.
What's going on here?
So they tap this guy on the shoulder, and he says, "Excuse me, I need to use this parental listening booth to screen my son's music." I mean, so he hands the headphones to him, and the guy looks at the album that Bobby's got on top, and he goes, "Oh, that's a great album." So Hank looks at Bobby as soon as the guy walks away and goes,
Not
Put it-
that one.
put it
back. Put it back. Not
Then,
that one. Sorry,
He
Bobby.
puts on the headphones and he puts another one in. You hear a loud, guitar solo. He goes, "Oh, this one too." And then you hear rap, and he's like, "Put it back." I mean, they just start going through all of them, and he finds something wrong with every single one of them.
Yep.
Later, after they've gone through the big pile of CDs, he comes across one that has 4 very white boys in very white suits.
Yeah,
looking very boy bandish.
Backstreet Boys,
NSYNC.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, all that
NSYNC,
kind of
New
stuff,
Kids
sure.
on the Block.
He goes, "Oh, the 4 Scores." By the way, that's the number 4, SKORE. Kind of sounds like the Beatles before they went nuts in India.
That's pretty funny.
Bobby says, it's not 4 Scores, Dad. It's 4 Score. There's Chris, Calvin, Cool Chris, and Todd. Cool Chris. So he listens to a little bit of 4 Score, and it starts off with, One fine day, God was kicking it in heaven, which honestly sounds a lot like a NSYNC or a what was it? There was Backstreet Boys and New Kids on the Block.
There was a lot of them at that time. If you want to count the ones that I knew about, because there was one in England called Five, and it was a group of 5 guys. So there was Five. There was New Kids on the Block. There was 98 Degrees. There was NSYNC.
Lachey,
there was
right?
the Backstreet Boys.
Nick Lachey?
What's that?
Nick Lachey, right?
I think
98 Degrees. Frosted Tips.
98 Degrees. I think it was Nick Lachey. Yeah,
I
and then
think
the
so.
Carter boy. No, he was in. I don't know. It all blurs together. But I know they had one of the Carter kids was in one of them, and then you had Justin Timberlake was in one of them.
Yeah, Justin Timberlake was in Sync.
In
I don't know. Y'all
I
will
don't know.
correct us, I'm sure.
Yeah, like I hope nobody can correct us. 'Cause
He
that means they're
says,
listening to boy bands. I hope
Hank-
you guys weren't boy band fans.
Hank
now.
says, "Hey, I like this. It's kind of like doo-wop. This is the kind of music you should be listening to." Bobby's like, "Okay." And then Dale's hilarious line at the band coming. Oh yeah, okay, we'll get to it. And Hank is just there swaying back and forth, listening to the music.
Yeah, he's liking it.
Now we're in the alley with all 4 of them, and Hank is still thinking about Fourscore. He says, "Yeah, I heard this new band they got out. It's called Fourscore." And Boomhauer, of course, is like, "Oh, you talking about that dang old boy band, man? Talking about prancing around? Oh, man." It's not like I'm listening to them, It's just good music for the kids. Dale says, "If your kids like listening to Castrati," he goes, "but they are nice. They're a nice, wholesome group of Castrati, yes. And we can agree their music isn't all that bad, maybe even okay." And Bill, only line that Bill has, "Okay, if you're a prepubescent girl." And then Dale says, "Are you one of those, Hank? Huh? Prepubescent girl?" Hank getting a little pissed off at this point says, "Would a prepubescent girl be able to kick your ass?" He goes,
Probably.
Yeah.
I got a quick fact though, real fast.
Yeah, go for it.
That song that Boomhauer hums right there is "You Got It, the Right Stuff" by New Kids on the Block.
I thought it was O'Reilly.
Well, he actually hums something in the episode. The notes don't have the actual hum, but he actually hums. Castrata, or the castrati, was actually what they would do is they would take a boys and they would castrate them before puberty.
Yeah.
And it was mostly Catholic orphans
So
because
their
it was
voice
in the
could stay
Catholic church, this thing. So it was mostly like orphan children. They would castrate them so their voices would sing really high. Now, the crazy thing about it is that it happened for a really long time. So they tried to ban them in 1748, and the Pope wasn't having it. And there is the last castrati. So the last castrati ever was a guy called Alessandro Moreschi, and he died in 1922. So there are actual recordings, which is, I want to believe, it's the only one ever to ever be recorded. So he's the only castrato ever to have his voice actually recorded singing. You can find him on YouTube.
Oh,
if
wow.
anybody wants to go check him out.
Yeah,
but,
I want to check out a guy with no balls on YouTube.
But
That'd be great.
it's crazy to think that the last guy who was a castrati died in the 1900s kind of thing.
Crazy.
So it's
It is nuts.
It's nuts to think that happened that long.
Bobby comes running up with Joseph, and Connie. And, "Dad, Fourscore just released a block of tickets for their show in Houston." Hank, obviously excited about this.
Not only obviously excited, obviously has been looking at tickets.
He says, "But I thought they were all sold out. That's so, wow. I'm just so happy for you and your friends." And the guys are just staring him
They're
down,
staring
like,
at him, yeah.
"What is wrong with you?"
A little iffy there, Hank.
All right, now it's nighttime. Joseph and Bobby are outside waiting by Hank's truck. The girls walk up. Connie and who we find out to be Jordan. Joseph says, "Hey, Connie. Hey, blonde girl." Connie says, "This is Jordan, my study buddy from Frontier Learning Center." And then she says, "And this is Bobby." Bobby's like, "Oh, it's nice to meet you, Jordan." He sticks his hand out, and she jumps back a little bit like he was going to hit her or something. She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'm still a little jumpy. I just got my braces. I already got smacked in the lip with a volleyball. I got stitches. Do you want to see them?" He goes, "Yes, I do." And then she shows him the inside of her mouth, and he goes, That's disgusting. But you can tell when he says that, they both look at each other, and she's like, "Oh, he's kind of cute." So they have a moment. All right, next we get...
Yeah, but it's funny, though, that they have a moment, because they have a moment in front of...
Well,
Con Jr.
But Connie has. I mean, they're in their friend spot right now. They get it.
They are. They're in there. They're more friends.
She
than
does something
anything.
for him here in a minute that tells you that they're definitely in the
Oh
friend
yeah.
spot.
I got another quick fact to just
Yeah,
knock out
go
real
for it.
fast. So apparently, the songs or whatever that are in this episode from Fourscore, which is "God Must Be Sad Since He Left You Out of Heaven" and the Freak Friction song, they're both. I don't know if they are. I don't know what the website was, but they were actually available, the full songs, on the official website of the guy who wrote and produced the music. His name is Michel Vice-Mastin, so I imagine some French dude.
Yeah.
But both of the songs were written by Vice-Mastin, Larry Tridwell, and Garland Testa. So Garland Testa, one of the writers, actually helped write the actual music.
So I will tell you. Most of these bands went through a place in Sweden where they would pump this stuff out.
Not not only just them, that Swedish company or whatever that you're talking about, they are one of the #1 recording studios for popular music.
It's where ABBA started, and then after that, they just started pumping this
and
stuff
they pumped
out,
it out.
man.
They
Which is extremely smart because you've got the sound down that's sold. Well, now let's make 100 of them just like it.
It's really funny about. I watched a documentary on that. It's funny
Yeah,
that you mentioned
I
that.
saw that same one.
But they talk about in that documentary how the only reason why they're not super well known, a lot of people don't know that they have done that. Like there's a lot of record companies out here that you know about.
Sure.
But the reason why so many people don't know about them because in Swedish culture, humility is like key. They don't go around bragging, "Oh, I'm the #1 recording studio for pop music in the world."
They were basically ghostwriters, you know, and so a lot of times ghostwriters and stuff, it's verboten for them to even mention that it was written by somebody else. You know,
they're ultra successful, and you would never know it because in Swedish culture, if you're rich, you don't go around saying, "Hey, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich." Like in American culture, it's about flashiness. It's about showing what you got off, showing all this stuff off. If anybody wants to donate money to Mike and I, we will get grills. If you want to donate the money for us to get grills, we will go and get grills. We'll go to Houston and get Johnny danged.
I like a good Char King Imperial. All right, so men, Peggy and Nancy, which is weird, they are out eating at a Mexican restaurant. They're got the big old giant margaritas in front of them. Peggy, ranking in order of sexiness, ignoring their brutal slaughter of Texans at the Alamo. I say it goes, and she's looking at the black velvet paintings of these guys. She goes, Martin Perfecto de Cos, Antonio Lopez de Santa Ana, and Don Jose Herrera. I mean, she rolls those R's hard.
Yeah, she rolled the hell out of it.
Right, rolls them hard. Nancy, why don't we make it a tad more fun? Let's rank the men on our street. Men, well, I don't normally go for white meat, but #1 is obvious. That Boomhauer had one tight little bod. Nancy says, well, I think Dale is second. She goes, Dale? Peggy says, Dale? He goes, oh, he's unbelievably limber. Men says, well, my con definitely tied for second. His big-ass pompadour and his stomach is ripped. And then I guess second tier is Hank and Bill.
Yeah, you remember that episode where he goes into the Redneck Fighting Club or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that episode.
That's right. She says, Jesus says, Jesus. Yeah, you're right. Artie. She, Peggy, in hearing that second tier Hank and Bill, spits out her margarita and goes, "Excuse me." She goes, "You think Hank is on the same tier as Bill Dauterive?" Nancy gets all stuck up and says, "Well, don't get all worked up, Shug. We're ranking by sexy. Hank's a good man, but he's too uptight to be sexy." Peggy says, I will have you know that in 20 years we've been married, Hank has never once forgotten my birthday or been late on a mortgage payment.
Oh, yeah, that's real sexy,
really
Shug. Yeah, that's good.
She goes, oh, yeah, that's real sexy, Shug. She goes, you obviously didn't find Dale real sexy for 15 years. You were cheating on him with John Redcorn.
Punched her right
she
in the
goes
nuts.
for the she just goes as low as she possibly can. She goes, oh, Lordy, we forgot John Redcorn. I mean, it doesn't faze Nancy at all.
Doesn't faze Nancy. Nancy don't give a damn. She knows what she did.
She goes, okay, so it goes John Redcorn, and then Min says Boomhauer, Con, and Dale, then Bill and Hank. And she goes, or Hank and Bill. And she says, it doesn't really matter, whichever. And Peggy is pissed.
She doesn't really like the idea of
super
that.
pissed.
She does not like that. But, you know, Hank is a sensible man, not a sensual man. That's what I like. That's my Hank. That's my Hank
is
philosophy.
a solid guy.
He's a good dude. Your bills are
he's
paid.
Just a solid dude.
You might have a little extra cash. Groceries are taken care of. You're not worrying about
That's
if
right.
this is paid or that is paid.
That's right.
But I guess
Once a
that
month.
takes away the element. Like when it's all flatline,
Yeah.
there's no peaks or valleys or lows or highs. You
Once
got
a
to
month
have the
or so.
lows to appreciate
Sure.
the highs. So if everything is just mundane and boring like Hank likes it, there is no passion, there is no excitement. I feel like you got to go through the ups and downs for like
Sure
a
you do.
relationship
Yeah.
to continue to be passionate about
And then,
life. You know?
And then once a month, you have him lay on top of you for about 5 minutes, and then you go back to life as normal. You know,
That's it. I guarantee
Show
their
him your
sex
big-
is plain as a
show him your
plank of
big ass
wood.
feet. That's right.
Yeah. I wonder.
All
I
right.
wonder if he licks those big feet.
Oh no!
You don't think he licks
No.
her feet?
No, he doesn't lick her feet. No, you don't.
think her feet
Le-
are
leave me-
lickable though?
Leave me out of that argument. I don't want to be a part of
No?
that argument.
Okay.
No. That's not. That's.
I don't
that-
think her feet
don't
would
wanna
be
think about
lickable.
that.
I bet you
Now,
she's got
see,
some
in my
hooves.
head, I'm picturing her big ass toes in his mouth, and
She's
I
probably
can't-
got hooves
can't
though.
do
They're
that.
probably rough.
No, we've seen her. Well, yeah, they're probably rough. Yeah,
Probably some rough.
Montana feet.
rough.
that's what
Yeah.
she's got.
That's what I'm saying. She's got them big hillbilly feet.
She got big Montana feet. All right, so we're now at the Astrodome, which is the Reliant Astrodome at the time. Outside it says 4 score tonight, 8 p.m. Peggy's Feet.
They're redoing it,
That's
I
right.
think, aren't they? Aren't they
The
supposed to be
Astrodome,
remodeling
I think they're turning it into like a museum.
Oh, they are?
Something. Yeah, I believe so.
Well, that's kind of crazy.
Oh, it's great. And you see them walking into the Astrodome, and Hank is leaving everybody behind. He's so excited. Bobby's like
Yeah.
running after him. He goes, Dad, wait up, wait up. All right, and then
I like this exchange here is kind of funny.
it's
for
pretty
Hank.
good. They're in line to get in, so they're having to be
Welcome,
shaken
Hillary
down
Hicks.
or whatever.
Welcome to the chat. My
Yeah.
bad. I didn't mean to interrupt
Wait,
you.
didn't Lucky make the cut with his one tooth? I don't understand that. And then Hillary says hello. Hello, Hillary. So they're in line to get in to this 4-score
No, they're talking about
concert.
Lucky as the neighborhood guys. They're talking about the ranking of neighborhood
Oh,
guys.
I got you. Didn't make the cut with his one.
You
Yeah,
know
yeah, yeah.
what? I
He's not
bet you
there yet.
Lucky would probably still be above
He
Dale
would.
and Hank.
He would because he'd be a little dangerous.
He's a little
Yeah,
dangerous.
Yeah.
Slipping
No,
on
he had
pee-pee.
Gray grows green. Lucky's not there yet.
Yeah,
he'll
he's
be
not
there
with
soon.
us just
be there
yet.
soon. Okay, so they're in line waiting to get into the 4-score concert. And they go up to the thing, and it's as they're waiting in line, you hear Jordan say, "I read a rumor on the internet that Chris frosted his bangs," and Hank takes umbrage to this and says,
Yeah, he ain't a fan
"Dang,
of that.
internet, they don't care whose life they ruin."
They'll say
I mean,
anything.
Hank's like he's a fanboy all of a sudden.
But it's almost foretelling about like the internet cancel culture.
Oh, sure. And then Bobby says, "Dad, I'm thinking about asking Jordan to dance. When? How? What song? Help me. I'm in over my head." Hank, of course, looks at him and just says, "Just look her in the eye and say, 'Would you care to dance?' In my experience, women really respond to formality." Formality. So they
Yeah.
get up to the front. They've got the security guy there. He goes, "Every ticket's out." He shines a flashlight, right in Hank's face.
Right in
you
his
know,
face.
really hard. And he goes, "Sir, the parents section and is in the skybox." He goes, "Oh, I came to see the show." He goes, "Trust me, sir, you want to be in the parents section. This is a boy band." And then Hank turns and goes to the skybox with everybody. We then cut to the skybox, and there's a bunch of parents and stuff up there, but none of them are watching the concert. Some of them are on their phones, some of them are talking to each other, some of them are eating or whatever. They are paying this concert zero mind.
Zero mind, and that's what Hank was trying to get at. Is I want to watch the show. I want to be interactive.
But then it goes down to Hank, and he's got both hands up on the glass, and he's just like waiting. You know, he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
come on, bring the band out." And so the lights go down. Hank flicks on a lighter. So now we know that Hank carries a lighter.
Hank carries a lighter. You know why he carries a lighter?
Why is that?
Because he's a propane salesman.
Well, and he also used to smoke.
Well, he did used to smoke,
Yeah.
but my friend's dad worked for the gas company for 30 years, and he always had a lighter on him, and he didn't smoke. And I always wondered why he had a lighter, and he's like, "Well, how do you light gas?" He said,
That's true.
with
Yeah.
a lighter. So I guess that's it. We got a chatter here in Instagram. Tubular Tard. I sell
Tubular.
I sell propane and propane accessories.
There you go.
Yep, there you go.
All right, so he pops the lighter on. We see Connie, Bobby, Jordan, and Joseph sitting in the audience. Bobby kind of looks down the row and sees Jordan. And then this is what I was talking about. Connie moves over.
Oh, Sarah is the name of this person.
Oh,
Sarah.
okay, great. Hey, Sarah.
Hey, Sarah. We're live on YouTube and Instagram, so we're bouncing
She
back
moves
and forth.
over, so Bobby's right next to Jordan, right? And so now they're next to each other during the concert, which is very nice of Connie.
It's sweet.
Because she
It's
doesn't have to
cute.
be that way.
It's cute shit.
And then, boom, big light on the stage. The thing's about to start. My math is just called math, yeah. It's about to start, and you see the 4 chairs of the guys. They start off in that, we've got in, that kind of thing, right? And they have the white suits on and all that. And Hank he's watching it with very, very excited boy watching this thing, and he goes, "Hey, that's Todd." And then you hear God was kicking it in heaven, and he goes, "Oh, that sure is some good old-fashioned music." He's saying that to the other parents in the skybox, and then kaboom, you hear this big explosion. All the lights come on. The boys rip their suits off. They now have these spandex things with handprints like on their crotch and their ass and all this stuff, and like
Not what Hank envisioned.
No, it gets a little raunchy all of a sudden. And then you hear them saying, "Saw you walking around with your friends, sweeter than candy," blah, blah, blah. And he goes, "Todd, what are you doing?" It's like he thinks that Todd can hear him. He's like, "Todd, oh my God, what are you doing?" And then he says, hey, he's just like banging on the glass and stuff, like trying to get their attention. Like they're going to be able to hear anything he says.
Yeah.
He is just so mortified over the fact that this good bunch of boys turned into turds all of a sudden.
Hold on, Mike. The chatter on Instagram had a quick question for us. What is your favorite episode and what is your favorite character? Real quick. I already know mine.
Totally?
Yeah. Anything from season 1 is my favorite, and my favorite character is Cotton.
Yeah, it's tough to not like Cotton just because he's such a jackass.
That's why I like him, because he's funny.
But I think Bill is probably one of my favorites.
So Bill's your favorite. And then
Bill's just such a friggin' sad sack, and he says
like
some
Bill.
things sometimes that you're just like, dear God, I didn't think you could get any lower. And he just keeps going lower and lower and lower. So I'd say probably Bill.
Bill.
All right. We've got he's outraged. The boys are in their spank my ass clothes now. And then you hear them saying, "Can I get me some of that? Can I get me some?" And then Jordan.
Did he not listen to the whole album then?
I guess not. He
must have just listened to the opening. Hey guys, if you heard this new band, I only listened to the opening of one of their songs.
Yeah. Well, he just assumed it's doo-wop, and these are good, clean boys.
Good, clean boys singing doo-wop.
Goodcleanboys.com. He
whoa.
Yeah, I don't know. Bobby looks at Jordan and says, "Would you care to dance?" She goes, "Sure. I mean, if you want to." And then they get up, and dear God, they are freaking. Grinding.
They're freaking. They're getting freaky.
One's been over in front of the other, and the other one's behind them, freaking.
And then at one point, Bobby's twerking. It gets crazy.
Farts. It's exactly what he didn't want. And you hear the words all over "body addiction." They're singing.
Ooh.
You see some kids in the aisles freaking. You see them freaking. Bobby's freaking behind Jordan. And I love the fact that they're going through the exercise of freaking, right?
Yeah.
And having a conversation at the same time. So Bobby's like, "So you go to the learning center? You must be crazy good at math." This is while he's behind her freaking. Yeah, and she goes,
whatever they're doing.
She goes, "Yeah, I'm in Trig. Hey, what about you?" And then they switch, and she gets behind him, and so now he's bent over, and he goes, "Oh, my math is just called math."
My math is just called
And that is a great quote.
That is a great quote.
Hank comes down the aisle, and he is pissed. And then you hear in the music, "The equation U plus me equals," and then Bobby sees his dad. Bobby doesn't think about the fact that he has been over in front of this girl and she's freaking behind him.
No.
And he goes, "Hey, Dad, look, it worked. We're dancing."
He's not thinking about it at all, actually.
God.
And that's kind of funny.
Hank runs up to him, "What? Oh, stop that." And you hear the words, everybody needs contact. Then Bobby stops and he starts like kind of freaking on his dad, which is the exact thing you shouldn't do.
Well, not only should you not do that, I don't think that this is
humping Hank's leg.
Hank's
basically.
vision. You know what I mean?
My
I don't
God.
think that this is Hank's vision.
No, it's not his vision. He goes, Hank just grabs him, boy, and starts dragging him away. And says, Dad, what are you doing? Let me go. And you see Jordan watching all this and everything, and you see Bobby's just, oh, my God, he's so humiliated. And that is the first commercial break. We will take that, and we will be
right back.
Hey, there we are. Look at us. We're back. Howdy doody.
Howdy doody.
We have just gotten Bobby's just gotten dragged out of the concert by Hank, who saw him freaking. Then he tried to freak on Hank. That is not the way to get what you want.
It's really not the way to get what you want. Not only is it not the way to get what you want, it's also the way to make your dad horribly, horribly uncomfortable as a human being.
You got that right.
It's already a man who is uncomfortable in his own skin, now you're freaking on him.
We see Peggy and Luann in the kitchen at the Hill House. They're having some coffee. And Hank and Bobby walk in. Luann says, "Hey, guys, how was the concert?" He goes, "It was a disaster." Then Bobby says, "I was fast dancing with a pretty girl to one of my favorite songs, and Dad ripped us apart." And he storms off. Peggy, of course, taking Bobby's side immediately. "Hank Hill, you are so uptight you won't even let your own son dance with a girl." And by the way, we're getting a little bit of this whole ranking coming into the equation here. She's a little pissed off because Hank is playing and the other boys in the neighborhood are all freaky, I guess. She says, "Hank Hill, you're so uptight you won't even let your own son dance with a girl." "They weren't dancing like you and I danced. They were enjoying it." Dear Lord, no, you don't want that.
That's hilarious.
Luann says, "Lord, everything now is sex, sex, sex. It wasn't like this when I was growing up. What's going on with our children?" Hank says, "Yes, exactly." She goes, "Do you see the way little girls are dressing, walking around in their tiny shirts? Everything right out on display. Where's the mystery? And they wonder why men don't respect us." And she storms off, it's the weirdest exchange for Luann.
Because she wears pretty much a crop top.
She's wearing a crop top and little tiny shorts. Yeah. Peggy is listening to all this, and she looks out the sliding glass door, and she sees Nancy and Min still outside talking. So the whole ranking thing still going through her mind.
Yep.
She says to Hank, she goes, "I can't picture this horrible, awful dancing. Maybe you need to show it to me." And so she makes sure that she can see out the window. Hank gets up and starts like grinding at her or freaking at her, right?
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, all right, but this is for informational purposes only." And then the girls see it on the outside. Min goes, "Oh, what the heck are they doing?" And then we're back inside, and Hank says, "Then there was this god-awful hip shaking. It was like those lizards we saw on the Discovery Channel." And Peggy finally gets embarrassed enough to get up and close the shades on the sliding glass door.
Hold on a second, Mike. I'm getting some breaking news in my headset.
Yeah,
here.
what you got?
Breaking news: Donald Trump has appointed M.F. Thatherton for Secretary of Energy.
That's about right. Sure. All right, we're in Bobby's room the next day. He is obviously depressed, still in his pajamas. He's playing some video games and just looks like a sad sack. Hank comes in.
He looks upset. I mean,
sure.
He thought.
Why wouldn't he be?
I think it's one of those things too, where he thought, "Man, I'm finally connecting with my dad on something." And then once again, his dad dives a little deeper into whatever it is they're trying to bond on, and now he's like, "Oh, well, that's smut. You know, I can't deal with that. That's crazy, freaky."
Artie says the song's name is Freaky Friction.
Freaky Friction. Yeah, that was the name of the song.
Freaky Friction.
That was the name of the Freaky Friction song.
All right, so
how does that's what I'm saying. Is did the guy not listen to the whole album? Did he not even look at the title of the songs?
He didn't.
Why would
He's not going that deep.
Why would an album with a song called Freaky Friction in it not have a parental warning?
Because they never say the actual words, I guess. At that time,
Yeah.
it was all about the actual words or the imagery, you know?
So it was less. Yeah. So it was less about.
That's
like,
really what it was.
Yeah, I got you.
It was
I
more
got
about
you.
control than anything. Hank comes into Bobby's room. He's got a box in his hand, and he says, Bobby, congratulations. Cleaning out your brain is now my number one chore. And he starts taking down all of Bobby's stuff, like his posters and all the stuff on his, starts taking his CDs and all this stuff. And he looks at the magazines on the table. Bobby's like, what are you doing with teen people, Dad? He goes, I'm making a time capsule. This box is not to be opened until you are 16. And then he hears the music, and he says, good Lord, what is this smut you're listening to? He goes, it's not smut, it's Radio Disney. And then
that's funny.
Hank reaches up
I used
and
to
grabs.
listen to Radio Disney. It was on the AM radio.
Oh, yeah.
Though. They never had it on FM. It was an AM station.
Hank reaches up and grabs a naked troll doll. Like, they used to have those that are, 4 inches, 5 inches tall, something like that.
Yeah.
He holds it up to him and goes, nudity. And then he sticks it in the box. And then he goes over and just grabs Bobby's TV. And he says, okay, then, have fun, as he's leaving. And as he's leaving the room, since he took the TV, it's just pulling on all the cords. The game controller is pulled right out of Bobby's hand.
Yeah.
It's a pretty sad little exchange there for Bobby.
It is a real sad exchange. I kind of feel bad for Bobby.
I do, too. Now, I guess the next day or later in the day, we see Bobby pulling some weeds in the garage, or out in front of the garage, and all 4 guys are in the garage. And you hear Dale say, yep, kids are growing up way too fast, and we have no one to blame but the Dairy Council. They're shooting our milk up with hormones. Your Christina Aguilera's and your Shakira's are their prototype. I don't know how he said it. He said it weird, though.
Yeah, he did.
Then we see Bobby pretending that the bag of weeds that he's been pulling is Jordan, and he pulls it up close to him. He goes, nice to see you again, Jordan. Dance with you? Oh, I'd love to. And then he starts kind of humping that bag of weeds. And, of course, Con sees it over the fence and says, man, come quick. Redneck boy getting busy with lawn clippings. Hank runs in, and he's just like, Bobby. All right, now we've got Hank, Peggy, and Bobby in the truck. And they are driving somewhere. Hank says, I'm going to show Bobby that teens can have fun without dancing like sex perverts. And they pass a sign that reads, Mennonite Historical Society.
Yeah. I actually
So
got a quick fact real
He's
fast.
taking him to one of these old reenactment villages to show him how people had fun,
Yeah.
like before they got cholera or
Before
before
they
they
got cholera.
died
We
of
actually
a,
have
of a splinter.
a weird. I'm not going to say it's like the Mennonites because it's a weird.
Out here?
It's a weird cult kind
Yeah.
of thing. I was kind of doing some research on it and reading about it, but also when I was in college, I had a math class.
I mean, you can say it, right? Homestead Heritage?
Yeah, Homestead
That's what
Heritage.
you're talking about, right?
I'm not shy to say that it's a cult because I've studied it enough and I've talked to people that have been out there
Oh,
before.
I think we've got 2 or 3 major cults here in town. One is that one. The second one is Antioch, and the third one is I can't really name that one, but yeah, it's
I can.
They're cults. I mean,
It's cult-like.
they partake in cultish behavior. I mean,
but I had a math class in college with.
Was it just called math?
A girl. Yeah, it was called math. It was actually a remedial math class.
Yeah.
With a girl that grew up out there,
Yeah.
and she excommunicated or whatever, and she kind of. It was kind of cool because we're in a math class and we're going through the class. Everybody's it's the beginning of school.
Sure.
Everybody's going
Yeah.
around saying, "Oh, I'm this, I'm that. Hey, my name's whatever."
Uh-huh.
And that's the thing. That's what she led with was, "Hi, my name's so and so. I grew up in the Homestead Heritage thing. Excommunicated, whatever." And she said, "If anybody has any questions about it, feel free to ask."
Wow.
So it ended up being like
That's
the
kinda
first
cool,
30
honestly.
minutes of class was like this Q&A with this girl. Everybody was asking all these questions about it, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool of her.
But to go back to the Mennonite thing, Mennonites are a group of Anabaptist Christians. They trace their roots to the epoch of the Reformation of the church, which would be Martin Luther's Reformation, all that stuff.
Sure.
They don't vote. They resist war. They abstain from alcohol. They limit or forbid certain vehicles and technology.
Beat women.
They wear plain clothes. They emphasize the importance of baptism. They practice foot washing. They shun oaths. They believe in separating from the world. They drink raw milk, all that kind of good stuff.
I think they have electricity though, right? Mennonites?
Well, I don't know how all that works.
Yeah. I don't know.
Honestly, imagine that there are some that do, some that don't. Some have cell phones, some don't. Some have a booth in the backyard where they keep the cell phone in it, so it's not in the house. So electricity goes to the booth to charge the phone, but that's only just for the purpose of charging the phone, kind of thing.
I'll tell you who will never see this: a bunch of Amish people.
Amish people. No,
They won't ever
actually, I
see
bet
this.
you Amish people love King of the Hill.
They could.
Here in
I
a minute,
guess.
they're going to mention Pierce Brosnan, and I just have a random fact about Pierce Brosnan.
So
Pierce Brosnan was actually a narrator of I think it was season 7 of Thomas the Tank Engine.
really.
Yeah, he narrated one season of it.
So they are in the truck. They're driving by the Mennonite Historical Society sign. Then they see somebody on a loom. They see a blacksmith. And Peggy says, all right, you're making Bill look like Pierce Brosnan, because Hank comes out of the souvenir shop with a big old straw floppy hat on. You know, like you see those Mennonite guys wear, or the Amish guys, those big old hats. And so, yeah, that's when she says that he's making Bill look like Pierce Brosnan. Now we're back at the Hill House.
It was season 12. Sorry, I got it wrong. It
Oh,
was
you're
season
fine.
12 of Thomas the Tank Engine. I'm a big Thomas the Tank Engine fan. I love trains.
We're back at the Hill House, and there's a message on their phone answering machine, and it says, "Hi, my name is Howard Brosnan, Jordan's father. I was wondering if you mind coming over so we could discuss the little problem about the girls the other night, or about the other night." And so now the next scene, we're at the Bronsons.
Yep.
And this one gets a little complicated, folks. So if I say the wrong voice, I'll correct it and move on. But this is what you were talking about with all the voices. So you hear Hank say, "Mr. Bronson and Mrs. Hilgren Bronson, I take full responsibility for what happened." And then Mr. Bronson says, "I'm glad you admit you overreacted. You got a little paternal and ruined the kid's night." That is not what Hank was thinking. Hank says, "What? I don't think you understand what the problem was, Mr. Bronson." He goes, "Oh, please call me McB. McB.
Call me McB,
Shut
brother.
up,
Yeah, he said,
McB.
hey, call me McB, brother.
I will look at me in the eye. I will never call you McB.
Yeah, I'll
That's
never
not
call you
gonna
McB.
happen." He says, "Would you like an apple martini?" And of course, this gets Peggy. "Oh, well, that would be lovely." And then Mrs. Hilgren Bronson said, and don't think that that's not a cut at people that hyphenate names. I'm telling you, that joke right there is a dig at people that hyphenate their names. He says, she goes, "We used to be disciplinarians, but every time we made some rule or set some limit, we just start laughing. I mean, who are we kidding?" Then this tall boy comes in through the door, red hair that's sticking out like crazy, just all goofy. He's got a big pimple on his face, but you can tell he's the kind of guy. And remember, this is an animated show, so I'm not really making fun of anybody here. But he's like like he's like a bro. He's like a frat guy, that kind of thing. You know, that's the kind of attitude he has.
I'm going to run the names down real fast of who's who real quick. Howard is voiced by David Herman. McB, sorry. The wife is
Mrs.
voiced
Hilgren
by
Bronson.
Yeah, the wife is voiced by Deborah Messing from what show was she in? Was she in I can't
Deborah
remember.
Messing
what
was
TV
in
show.
Everybody Loves Raymond. Right?
No, that's not her. I
Not
thought
her?
it was her too. No. Deborah Messing was in
King of Queens?
Will and Grace.
Will and Grace.
She was the lady on Will and Grace.
All the same.
Michael Brosnan is actually Breckenmeyer.
Oh, it is Breckenmeyer.
Breckenmeyer,
Okay.
yeah. And then Jordan Bronson is Elijah Dushku.
Okay. All right. So this kid with the weird hair comes in and he goes, "Ah, ha, ha, hair of the dog." And then Mr. Bronson, or McB, as you were, says, "In for a real treat, my son makes the best teenies." Hank just looks at Peggy and goes, "Peggy, call the police." It's like, call the police.
I like that, yeah.
Mrs. Hilgren Bronson says, "Michael, I'd like you to meet the Hills. Call them Hank and Peggy. By the way, love the glasses on you two. Totally geek chic." Shut up. I just want to leave your house.
Oh, okay. I just want to hit this real fast since we
Yeah,
already talked about
go for
it.
it.
So the website where you could listen to these songs is called sweetersongs.com.
What songs are we talking about?
The 4 score songs.
Oh, really?
There's because
Sweetersongs.com.
Because I was looking through the stuff or whatever for 4 score because I was trying to see if there was any voices or whatever, any special voice actors.
Yeah.
And it's actually a woman. I thought it was a man. Sorry, it was a woman that did it.
An actual band?
Well, I thought it was a man because Michel is a French name for a French man for Michael. But sweetersongs.com, SWEETER songs.com.
Go check it out.
There you go.
All right, so Michael, the bro, says, sup. Hey, McBee, you missed a hell of a party last night. Junior and Ray Ray say, what's up? Mrs. Hilgren Bronson says, oh, I love Ray Ray. And then Michael looks at McBee and says, where were you, my man? He goes, hey, someone's got to work around here. He goes, it sure ain't going to be me. This is an effed up relationship with parents and kids.
Yeah, it's such a weird.
This is just weird.
Yeah, it's such
this
a
is
really
that.
weird
This
way.
is that take, and she says it here in a minute. But this is that take on. Well, they're going to do drugs and they're going to drink anyway, so they might as well just do it here where they could be safe. I don't think in the history of the world that's ever worked. Just letting everybody know.
I don't think it's ever worked either.
Somebody who had 5 teenagers in the house at one time, I can tell you it didn't work at my house. So he says, hey, somebody's got to work around here. It sure ain't going to be me. And then Peggy says to Hank, which is the wrong thing to say every time, you really could wear a shirt like McBee's. Shut up, Peggy. Shut up.
Yeah, Peggy. Peggy just is such
no social awareness, no awareness of the situation. She doesn't check the room. She doesn't.
I'll use some lingo for the
doesn't give a
kids.
shit.
She's such a glazer.
She is a glazer.
Whenever she's around an idea or something that she likes or a person that has an idea, she latches onto that person.
Oh, sure.
And she'll glaze them.
And so Mrs. Hilgren Bronson says,
my son would be proud.
Says, we prefer it if Michael drinks at home where we know he's safe. And when he gets really buzzed, you should see him play Pictionary. It's a riot. Shut up, lady. McBee says,
watch him play Pictionary while he's drunk. Yeah, that's crazy.
McBee says, it's not too late for you to have this kind of relationship with Bobby. Hank says, yes, it is. He's just like, nope, shutting that down.
Ain't happening.
He says, Hank, all you got to do is be Bobby's friend. If not, who's he going to turn to when he gets in trouble? Hank says exactly what my grandfather and my father would have said. He won't even need to turn. We'll be right there, bam, in his face with a brick wall of rules, limitations, and discipline. That's right.
Absolutely.
Mrs. Hilgren Bronson says, my parents were a wall. I wanted to be a door that leads to a world of experiences. Oh, God. This couple makes me want to puke.
Not a big fan of this couple
I am
at
not
all.
a big fan, no. Hank says, well, what kind of? And Peggy says, I think we're all saying the same thing here. Hank says, no, we're not. Nothing they say makes any sense. She goes,
and
look.
I agree. Not a damn thing they've said makes a lick of sense.
She goes,
yet.
look, the kids really like each other, I know, and why don't we take them all out together? Mr. Bronson says, hey, that's a great idea. Hank says, I'm picking the place, like just as fast as he can. Next scene, we see that they are all at the Blue Bonnet Creamery, an old-fashioned ice cream parlor.
Okay.
And so you see the two Bronsons sitting over on the side, and he's talking to his wife, and he goes, this place is so uncool. Then Mrs. Bronson, she sees some people come through the door, and she goes, Jan and Tad freaking Shaw, get down. And they, get down behind the table because they don't want them to see them or whatever. And then this lady and I guess her son walks through and says, Nancy, McBee, what are you doing in an ice cream parlor? I mean, we're just here so Tad can use the toilet. Go ahead, honey.
This is the two next voices, the next two guest voices. So Jan Shaw, I guess that's the mother, is voiced by Elizabeth Perkins.
Oh, really? That's Elizabeth Perkins.
And Sharina Shaw is voiced by Mila Jovovich, which if people who don't know who Mila Jovovich is, she's Lilu off The Fifth Element.
Yeah. Also, Tad.
Oh, sorry. Also, Alice in most of the Resident Evil. I think she's in all of the Resident Evil movies.
Okay. Tad does not talk. So I'm assuming that Tad is a son.
Yeah, Tad doesn't say anything.
Not a husband, because she says, so Tad can use the toilet. Go ahead, honey. If that is her husband.
No, Tad Shaw is the husband.
Okay, then that's BS also.
It's weird. Yeah,
she
it's weird
treats her
for her
husband
to say
like
that,
he's a kid or something.
Yeah, go TT, honey.
Uh-huh.
Go TT, baby.
Hank says, our kids are on a date. We're chaperoning. I mean, he's proud of it, right?
Yeah, he's proud his kid's on a date.
The lady.
I would just be mortified. Like, I think if my parents ever would have said, I want to chaperone a date, I would have just waited till the point in my life where they didn't have to be the chaperone, honestly, because that would just be annoying. I feel like your parents sitting there while you're trying to have, like, you can't get to know somebody at all with your parents sitting there at that age. Like, as an adult, it's different or whatever. But while you're like a 13, 14-year-old kid, who wants their parents sitting there while they're trying to talk to her? It's already awkward enough.
Nobody. Jan Shaw says, chaperoning. Oh, nice job, Ronald Reagan. Mr. Brunson, and I
like that. That's funny as shit.
I like the two. Well, I like the two reactions. Mr. Brunson says, hey, don't call me that. Hank says, yeah, don't call him that. I mean, it's an emphasis on the word him. Like, because I love Ronald Reagan is what he's saying. And this guy is no Ronald Reagan. That's exactly what he's saying. Jan says, oh, this must be so humiliating for Jordan. My Serena is getting ready for her limo ride with her high school friends. Sophomores. Shut up, lady. God almighty, these people need to be walked out.
Yeah, they're weird.
Mrs.
I'm thinking this. You know what this reminds me of? This particular situation. I'm thinking Hank is probably maybe 10 years older than all of these parents.
Maybe.
Like, Hank is an older parent because they struggled to have kids. So I feel like they didn't have kids till they were in their 30s.
You can be friends with your kids, but later in their life, they don't need friends when they're little. They don't need friends when they're teenagers.
They
need rules.
They need
regulations. They need those kind of things because
I'm
otherwise,
kind of
where the hell are they going to get them?
My parenting style is kind of weird, and my dad doesn't really like it. But my rules are what I call my rules in my household are consequences. So there's not a whole lot of guidelines and a whole lot of I do guidelines. We do have a little bit of rules, but it's like, hey, you want to stay up and play video games at midnight? The consequence is no matter how late you stay up, you still got to get up at 6 a.m.
Oh, sure.
So it's like my son has learned that, if I go to bed, then I'm not going to be shit tomorrow. So, like, I don't ever have, like, a hard bedtime for him, but he has the consequence of his actions is how I try to approach it.
Sure.
Because I had a lot of hollering and screaming when I was a kid, and it didn't work. Like, I feel like all of the hollering and the screaming and stuff that I'd had to deal with as a kid, I feel like it was counterproductive, and it made me want to rebel even more. So, like, my kid is the least rebellious kid. Like, all my friends tell me all these problems they're having with their teenagers, and I'm like, well, have you ever given them a little bit of, like, choice for so they know there's consequences to their actions? And they're like, well, no, they got to do what I say when I say do it. And I'm like, they're human beings too. Like, you ain't got to go, like, full-blown, like you said. I'm not my kid's best friend.
There's a happy median.
There's, like, a happy medium.
Right?
You have to allow them, especially teenagers, they have to have some element of choice because they're almost adults where they have to make all their own choices anyway.
That you should never do is talk bad to people about their parenting style. That is an instant fight. It's an instant way to get somebody to hate you really quickly.
Yeah, it escalates
and it just sucks because it's none of your damn business. Now, if it influences or changes the way I'm trying to raise my kids, that's different. I may talk to you, or I may tell my kid, hey, don't hang out with that kid, or whatever, right? But it's not my business to get in your business and tell you how to raise your kid because every kid is different. Every person is different.
Yeah, I think so. I think you got to approach it differently.
But they all have to have some sort of rules or consequences.
Yeah.
They have to. You cannot just let them run feral. And by the way, and I'm pointing directly at the screen now, so whatever this audio means, stop letting your kids run around in a damn restaurant. That sucks. And it sucks for everybody.
I don't allow that crap.
Especially the wait staff. And those people are working so hard to not spit in your enchiladas. Don't give them a reason to by letting your dumb kid trip them or whatever.
Yeah. No, we don't do all that.
Keep control of your kid, man. Come on.
I'll literally get up and walk out of a restaurant before food has even gotten there if people want to act up.
Well, I mean, here's another thing.
I'll go home. We can eat enchiladas at the house.
If you're saying, well, my kid is just, I can't control him or whatever, then you don't get to go. I mean, that's just don't go.
That's another thing that
social awareness, man. There's people around you. You're not the only one on the planet.
That's one of the parenting style. That's one of the parenting things I don't like is like, oh, if you're good, we get to go here.
Yeah.
No, you should just always be good. You should always do what's right. So it's like, why would I reward good behavior? Like I don't believe in rewarding good behavior because they should be good. They should be listening and doing what's right most of the time anyway.
Sure.
So it's like, oh, I'm gonna take you here if you behave today, and then they act up anyway, and then you still take them. You got
no, I mean, I definitely know
you
what you're
can't
saying,
tell
yeah.
them something like, oh, I'm gonna take this away from you, or I'm gonna do this, and then never do it.
Sure.
Because they know you're not going to do it. They know you're full of shit, and the kids will call your bluff.
Oh, absolutely.
Every single
It's the first
time.
thing
Once
they
they
do.
realize you're full of shit,
They
they
do
will
that in
call
the
you
classroom.
out on it every
They
time.
do it in the classroom, so why in the hell wouldn't they do it to you? I mean,
Yeah, no, they
you
do
know?
it. They do it to teachers all day long.
Yeah.
So what's going to stop them from coming home and doing it to you as well?
So they're having this exchange between Jan and Mers' Bronson. Mers' Bronson says, we were saving up to rent Jordan a limo for her birthday, but she thought it was a little played out. She wants a slumber party. Jan says, oh, slumber party, good old-fashioned favorite. And then Mrs. Bronson says, with all the girls and boys in her class. And then Jan says, oh, that's very progressive. I think maybe we'll let Serena go. And then Peggy says to the whole thing, she says, well, that was so exciting. I did not know what was going to come next. Then Mrs. Bronson says, I know Jordan would love it if Bobby could come to her slumber party. We'll be serving tapas. And, like, Hank looks like somebody just hit him in the face with a fish or something. I mean, it's just he looks rough.
Yeah, he's not excited.
So we're driving home. The two of them, Peggy and Bobby, are just, like, staring at Hank because they know they have to get his approval for Bobby to be able to go. Why Peggy gives a shit about this, I don't know. But whatever. She gets involved in all this stuff. So they're all staring at him. And he goes, no. And they get all upset, and he goes, no god dang way is he going to go to that party. And then Peggy, dear God, I don't know what happens to her in this moment, but she says, oh, come on, Hank, the Bronsons will be there, and it's Bobby's chance to hang out with the cool kids from the Learning Center. Be more like an overnight study session. And then she says something like, we hate you. Oh, it's next. Bobby says, oh, nice one, Mom. Hank says, no. And they're both really disgusted, and this is the thing with Peggy. She goes, did you even see how cool those other parents were, huh? They look like Chandler and Monica. And look at us, Andy Griffith and Aunt freaking B. It's all your fault. I cannot believe you're not letting him go. We never get to have any fun when you're around. We hate you. And then Bobby says, yeah. What the hell happened to this woman all of a sudden?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's
God
funny.
almighty.
They mentioned Chandler and Monica.
You never let us do anything. We hate you.
But why would they say Andy Griffith and Aunt B? They weren't in a relationship. That was his aunt.
No, she's just saying that it's old-timey. That's all she's saying.
Andy Griffith, he was a bachelor, man. He dated multiple women throughout that show. I'm pretty
He
sure.
knew a lot
I'm
of
a big
drunks,
Andy
too.
Griffith fan.
Well, I know one drunk. We're back at the Hill House.
I
Bobby
always
is.
wonder what happened to Opie's mom. Do they ever mention? I mean, I don't know. Are you a big Andy Griffith fan? Did you ever watch a lot of it? I watched a crap ton of it, but I just can't remember them
I
ever
don't really
mentioning
know what
Opie's
happened
mom.
to. Yeah, I don't know what happened to Andy Griffith's
I think she
wife
probably
/
died at
Opie's mom.
childbirth. I think it's probably
Maybe.
they had a real high mortality rate for women at birth at that time in history, in American history.
So Bobby's on the phone and he says, "Happy birthday, Jordan. I'm sorry I can't come to your party, but you know how it is with parents. Oh, wait, you don't, because you're for fun. Bye." And I mean, he's all sad. Hank comes in and goes, "Yeah, I treat you so bad with all the food I give you and the roof I put over your head so nicely." But and he walks off. Peggy is an ass, okay? Because she responds to this by talking to Bobby and telling him, "I wish I could drive you, Bobby, but you know, you really don't need anyone to drive you since it's only 4 stops on the number 2 bus, which leaves at 7:12, 7:18, and 7:40." Bitch, stop putting thoughts in my kid's head.
I think
You're his mother.
I think she's doing it on purpose, though. Obviously doing it on purpose.
You're his mother, and you just told him to go take a damn Greyhound to these people's house. Good God. All right, now we're at the sleepover. They're all putting out their pallets. You know, it's where you put your little blanket down, you put your pillow down, and you get ready to sleep in a line or whatever. Jordan comes over, and she puts her pillow down right by Bobby and kind of waves at him, all cutesy. And Bobby goes, "Oh, wait, boys and girls are sleeping in the same room?" I mean, he did not know this.
He didn't.
He's not prepared for this.
We never had those.
We hear
didn't
it
exist when I was a kid.
No, I didn't. I never went to one of those. You hear a doorbell. They open the door, and it's Serena and her mother and Tad, I guess. I don't know. And she says, "Oh, you got the little blue ones? I love those." And then you hear Connie. She goes, "Oh man, it's Serena Shaw from Frontier." Serena comes over and goes, "Hey, Connie, nice necklace." And it doesn't sound sincere at all.
Not at all.
Connie says, "Wow, okay, thanks, you can have it." I mean, she's just so impressed that this girl even talked to her. And then she turns to Bobby Hill and goes, "And you are?" He goes, "Bobby Hill." She goes, "Oh, Jordan's new friend. Well, I'll make sure you and Jordan have a lot of fun tonight." Well, she's tickling Bobby on the chin. Number one, put your hand down, because get your hand off of me. And number two, what? It's not your job to make sure we have fun. But whatever, you self-centered turd.
Artie said, Peggy won't go against Tank forbidding Bobby going to the party, but she aids and abets Bobby sneaking out. Hashtag shitty Peggy.
Hashtag
Yeah,
shitty Peggy,
absolutely.
indeed. Okay. So she says, "Well, I'll make sure you have a lot of fun tonight." Bobby responds to this with, "I'm a good kid." I mean, Bobby is such a cool kid, because he wants all these things, but he knows his limits. He knows he can't do some of these things.
No, he definitely knows.
Absolutely knows this. Okay, so now the parents, Mirrors is and Mr. Whatever their names are, they say, "Okay, we're off to the movies. Don't worry, we'll be back late." And then Mr. says, "We'll make sure to honk so we don't interrupt anything."
That's how, like,
You're telling these kids to have sex? Is that what you're doing?
I don't know if he's saying that outright, but
Shit.
this is how you end up with 14-year-olds with babies.
No kidding.
You know, that might be why Texas has the highest rates of teen pregnancy in the country.
Well, there's several factors there, but yeah. Serena says, "Oh, you're the coolest, McBee," and then they leave. She turns to the crowd of kids, because Serena apparently is running this thing now. She goes, "Okay, the game is called 7 Minutes in Heaven. The closet will be heaven. I will be God. Someone grab a timer." Bobby looks out the window at the parents leaving in their this had to be when the Volkswagen Bugs became a thing again. You know, when they remodeled them
It was
and
the
reintroduced
2000s.
them and stuff.
Yeah, they were huge.
Because these people are in a Bug, and I'm sure that's because it was trendy. And he goes, he's just saying this to himself, looking out the window. He's like, "My God, they're really leaving." And then he opens the front door as they start driving down the street, and he goes, "Is there a phone number where we can reach you?" I mean, he's
That's a great
so
joke. Yeah, I
worried
like
about
that.
this. And that is the second commercial break. We'll take that, and we'll
be right back.
There it is.
To the Instagram live.
Hello.
Hello. Hey.
We got a
yo.
little ding dong there for a second. I don't know what happened with the timer, but we are back. We are still at the slumber party with the kids, the boys and the girls, and all the peoples. And I'm not gonna say that. All right. Number one, we see. I'm sorry, we're not there yet. First, we see Peggy. She's coming out the door, and she looks over and she sees this reminds me of those videos you see on like TikTok or whatever, where there's somebody standing there and they look over here and they show a clip of people working weird or something, and they look over here and they see another clip of people working weird or something, and that's the whole thing.
Not to interrupt you, but
No, you're fine.
I remember how we're doing our own little deals in the cuts, like we're doing the beer commercial thing.
Yeah.
You wanted me to go through Walmart and do some footage.
Yeah.
I did something even better than that. I was looking through YouTube, and YouTube has a bunch of stock footage from the 90s of people walking through grocery stores, and I thought that would be more apropos than me walking through Walmart.
Sure.
There's not a lot of branding badging back in that era, I guess. It's kind of weird because some of these grocery store footages, I only know what grocery store it is because I've been inside of some of these grocery stores.
Yeah.
But other than that, there's not like a bunch of like signage and stuff, because I tried to do it at Walmart. I went to Walmart yesterday, matter of fact, and when I was walking through, I was like, it's impossible
it's everywhere.
for me to do this and it not be like Walmart.
So Peggy walks out and she looks over to one side and she sees Con digging. He's got his shirt off. He's all muscly. Min brings him a beer. Then she looks over the other side. You see Dale and Nancy watching him. Dale bends over and you see his pink thong he has on. Then she looks out in
Yep.
front, and she sees Hank on his riding lawnmower in that big-ass straw hat, and she's very disappointed. So she keeps thinking about this ranking shit. So that's in her head. Now, second, we're back at the party, and one of the kids, or Connie, says, how long have they been in there? They're all staring at this closet because they're playing 7 Minutes in Heaven. Jordan, with the timer, says 4 minutes. Bobby, of course, is like, I hope they have enough air. It's a closet, Bobby.
It's a closet,
it's not a hermetically sealed vault.
Yeah.
And then Carl Peters, who's there, says, I don't hear the sounds of ecstasy. And then another boy next to him says, dude, lick your hand and spank her. Lick your hand and spank her?
Whoa.
I don't get that.
They got a
Bobby's-
little crazy with that one. That one's a little wild. Well, no, because it's like a wet hand hurts work. Like, like if you slap somebody while your hand's wet or pop them with a wet towel.
I've
I feel
never
like
heard of
that's
licking
where
your
it's
hand and spanking
I've
somebody.
never heard
but
of licking your
whatever.
hand and
Okay.
spanking anybody. That's some kinky shit.
Bobby says, do you have enough air? I mean, he's really worried that these people are going to die in this closet. The door opens. Serena comes out, and we see Dooley standing there in nothing but a fur coat. And he goes, I want to go home. I mean, he's just like, I want to go home.
Here you go. Luke said
said
Walmart
too much.
90s smiley face or the quarter zip starter jackets.
Quarter zip starter jacket.
I do miss those starter
for
jackets.
me.
I was actually looking at retro ones because I was looking for my brother's a huge Broncos fan, and of
Yeah.
course they've been around a long time. So I was trying to find him one of them old starter jackets, and I went on eBay, and man, there is tons of that stuff, all that old sports memorabilia.
Rainbow parties.
I don't remember rainbow parties. We never
Already says
participated in that.
rainbow parties.
We did have
That tells me it's from porn,
I
which
did
is
grow up
crazy.
in the era where people would grab a bunch of prescription drugs from their parents and dump them in a
Ugh.
bowl. I did grow up in that era. That was a wild era.
So Serena turns to the rest of the crowd and she goes, all right, who's next? Who's ready for some contact? Then she pulls a name from, I guess, a hat. I don't know. It seemed like it was something cloth. She looks at it and she goes, oh, interesting. The birthday girl. Looks like Jordan is getting her first birthday present from Bobby Hill.
Bobby Hill,
And
ready
then
for the mojo.
Jordan, who's not prepared for this either, she says, Bobby and I just met each other. If we move too fast, isn't it going to ruin it? I mean, we haven't even talked online yet. I like him. At least I think I like him. I know he can freak and he likes ice cream. I don't know if that's enough. And Serena's like, okay, well, you got 7 minutes to get to know him. And they pushes him into the closet and sets the timer. Back at the Hill house, Hank is inside now. I guess he's finished mowing. He does not know that Bobby's gone, so he comes down the hall and knocks on his door and says, Bobby, I rented a square dance video, and we're all going to watch it as a family. Bobby, he's knocking on the door. Square dance video. He rented a square dance video. All right, we're back in the closet, and Bobby and Jordan are sitting there. They don't know what to do. It is certainly not heaven. He goes, you sure have a lot of coats. I know. Let's look in all the pockets. Jordan says, come on, Bobby. We don't have much time. She goes, do you have any pets? He goes, an old dog. What's your favorite food? Pork pockets. Ham or pepperoni? Ooh, that's a toughie. I got to think about it. Bobby, ham. No, pepperoni. No, ham. She goes, there. I like you. That's our questionnaire.
Pepperoni, ham.
From the outside of the closet, you hear, throw out some clothes. Woo! Bobby inside is like, I got a sock. That's as far as I'm willing to go. He starts taking his shoe and his sock off. From the outside, you hear shirt. And then on the inside again, you hear Jordan say, a sock. Are you crazy? A sock isn't good enough. And then on the outside again, shirt. She reaches over and starts taking Bobby's shirt off. She's about 2 buttons down, and woof, the closet door opens, and there stands Hank. Right?
Yep, there he
Like
is.
like
and
a
that's gotta be
tower.
like the most gut wrenching thing to see when you come walking up out of a closet that you're not even supposed
Yeah.
to be in a place you're not even supposed to be at.
But Bobby looks at it and goes, oh, thank God. I mean, he's just like, thank
He's
God I didn't
relieved.
have to do anything.
Yeah, he's definitely. Generally, you would be mortified as a
Oof.
parent or as a teenager. I would have been mortified to see my parent on the other side of that wall. But Bobby, being in an awkward situation, he's just like, "Oh my God, that's awesome."
So he
Thank
pulls
you,
him
Dad, for showing
pulls
up.
him out of the closet and he goes, you are busted, mister. And then the crowd goes, oh. He goes, I don't know what you're wooing for. You're all busted. Where are the Bronsons? And Serena says, they went to the movies. He goes, when did your parents say they were going to be back? Jordan says 45 minutes. He goes, you got a game shelf? So he's going to figure out a way to stick around so that he can talk to these parents and tell them what they did wrong. Later, we see him trying to play pin the tail on the donkey. He says, while we're waiting for your parents to get here, we're going to play a little game I used to play when I was your age, and shows them pin the tail on the donkey. Serena, of course, being too cool for school, says, no way am I playing pin the tail on the donkey. This is the saddest party I've ever been to. And then he says, well, I think we have our first contestant. And he's kind of turning the tables on her. You know?
He is.
They start putting a blindfold on her, and she goes, hey, no, what are you doing? What are you doing? Wait. And then she's like, oh, wait, where are you guys? Like, they spun her around, you know, she's dizzy. She's supposed to play the thing. Men, Nancy and Joseph with Connie come walking out of the party. This is a little later. Peggy is in the truck, and she's overhearing the things that they're saying. She goes, I can't believe Hank Hill is so uptight he ruined little girl's birthday party. Peggy's like, oh, God. You know, this sucks because my husband's already on the bottom tier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The argument about the sexiest whatever, and he just completely ruins it for himself.
He does, but Connie says, thank God he shut up when he did, or I might be stuck in the closet right now getting felt up by Clark Peters, which she got a good point.
She has a great point. Luke had a good point, too. Although Peggy helped Bobby, you know, she kind of
That's
aided
what
and
she
abetted.
does.
She throws his ass underneath the bus.
She throws everybody under the bus. It's
If-
all
if-
about Peggy.
If it takes the heat off of her,
Oh,
we would all
every
be
single
underneath
time.
the
Every
bus.
single time.
Yeah.
So men respond to that. What? A little booger-nosed creep? So Hank really came in here and took control, huh? He crack a whip. And then Nancy says, he really is sort of sweet with the kids, just like a big old gummy bear. Then men, she's all right, I'm coming around. Hank Hill pretty sexy. And you see Peggy, and she smiles. And she goes, yeah, but not as sexy as Boomhauer. And then you hear Nancy, that
the
Boomhauer. I guess you're right.
I always find that funny. They all put Boomhauer at the top.
Boomhauer.
Out of the
He's
four dudes, out of the four dudes in
he's the
con,
guy.
Boomhauer's at the top.
Now we're back at the Mennonite Ranch. The McBees are with them. And he's like, how much longer do we have to stay? Like, he's such a child. Hank says, we can leave as soon as the blacksmith finishes my belt buckle. And then we go over and we see Bobby and Jordan standing there watching. And he goes, so in the closet, I was going to kiss you, but obviously my dang dad came in and put a damper on my situation. So I'm just – and then she just reaches over and kisses him right on the cheek.
Right on the cheek.
Hank sees it, and he goes, none of that. He goes, yes, sir. And then they kind of start holding hands. And he goes, nope, none of that. I guess that's okay. And so he lets them hold hands. And then a Mennonite man walks up and just says, animals! Like he's just so disgusted that they're
by
holding
them holding hands. Yeah.
And that is it, guys. That is the end of Season 7, Episode 1.
But not the end of the live stream, so don't go anywhere. We got more for
Entitled,
you.
Get Your Freak Off.
Yeah, get your freak
after
on.
the credits, we do hear Hank say, hey, that's Todd. So I love that. I love that. Yes, Bobby does say situation. You got that
Situation.
right. Yeah, pronunciation.
All right,
is the thing. All right, tell them where they can find us and all the things.
Yeah, you could find us at BWAAAKOTH. In most places, we're on Scoops. If anybody doesn't know who Scoops is in the top 10 entertainment apps right now on YouTube. So I've been posting to Scoops as well as Blue Sky. We're on Blue Sky. We're on Twitter. We're on Instagram.
Blue Sky's a butterfly.
You can find us at BWAAAKOTH in all of those places. It should be pretty easy to find us. We're the only ones that are BWAAAKOTH. You could also email us at BWAAAKOTH@gmail.com. And also, in the link description on this YouTube video, there will be a link to my GoFundMe. We are still trying to crowdsource my citizenship documents. So if you guys want to be a part of my journey to become a citizenship, it is now a journey that is 13 years in the making. So if you want to participate in that, I'd appreciate it if you could donate some money. If not, just share it with people, and that's enough for me. Again, thank you all for continuing to listen to me and Mike. Thank you for supporting us in this journey to citizenship, and thank you for supporting our journey in podcasting. We appreciate you guys.
Thanks for being here, guys. We do really appreciate it. Hey, I want to say thank you to everybody for just continually coming back. We had a lot of people stick around today, and thank you very much for that.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere.
We love
as
you
far
guys.
As we'll still be here.
And just the support is so great. If you get a chance, check out some of our other shows at roguemedianetwork.com, or you can go to sports.roguemedianetwork.com. Pumping out a lot of sports content. We've got some exciting stuff coming in the first of the year. Lots more live content, lots more situations and things that we're going to be running through this place. It's an exciting time here. It seems like every time we turn around, we got something new. So just keep an eye on it for us if you would. Let me for the first time, let me talk about one thing that's happening in March of 2025.
Yeah.
It is the block party here in town.
Yep.
We're shutting down, I think, 3 blocks this time.
Oh, wow. The city's going to let y'all shut down 3 blocks of streets?
We're going to do a battle of the bands out in the middle of the street. We'll have vendors. We'll have food trucks, all this kind of stuff, a car show, all kinds of things. Like, it'll be fun. Last time we did it, thousands of people in the street, because we leave it as a community-free event. We get sponsors for it rather than asking you to pay at the door. So if you're in Waco and you want to come through here, or you're around here,
what are we doing for that?
It is March 1st. Now, the second night is March 2nd. That's how they do it on the calendar.
Yeah.
The second night, we are having the first ever Texas Creator Awards show.
Oh, wow.
This will be over at the Hippodrome.
Okay.
I believe December 2nd, we start nominations for things.
All right.
You can nominate anybody you want that creates stuff in Texas. So, and we're talking mostly digital things. So like YouTube, TikTok, podcasts, short movies, stories, whatever, right? You can nominate all these people. And we'll end up having, 20, 25 categories of things that will get awards. You go and you nominate, and then we stop the nomination at a certain point, and we turn on actual voting for the ones that got the most nominations. So it's kind of a double-tiered process.
Okay.
But on the 2nd, if you cannot make it here to Waco, we will be streaming that event live. So we'll have some of our musicians playing. We may have a stage reading of our first original IP, and that is called Hellhound Country, written by a great writer out of Austin. Professional voiceover people came in and did all the voices. Everybody got paid. It's like an actual production, and that will come out, we hope, before the end of the year.
Awesome. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's 10 episodes, easy listen. It's probably 20, 30 minutes a pop. A little sci-fi kind of thing, but don't think spaceships. Think more like creatures. And I'm really, really excited about this. We're about to start our second original IP, and when I say that, it's just intellectual property. So think of it as audio dramas, or comedy or whatever. But it's just
I'm ready to be dramatic.
Say it again.
I said I'm ready to be dramatic.
Yeah.
With audio.
We've got some stuff. We got another one that we just recorded the trailer for. It's called Simmer. I have one here in town called Go, which is about high school football in Texas, which that would be cool. I've got a political one.
Aren't y'all paired with a school right now?
Say it again.
Aren't y'all paired with one of the schools around here?
We do stuff with some of the schools. I don't know about paired, but yeah, we do some stuff. Yeah.
I need to get us over there in Conley and La Vega. I know I got a lot of contacts at both schools, so I need to get us over there. I did have a teacher reach out for some podcast stuff. One of my kids' teachers.
Happy to help.
I need to get back in touch with him.
Happy to help. But anyway, we've got a lot of stuff coming up. Just keep your eyes open. We'll keep announcing it. But check our social media and check anything you want as far as that. Yeah. I think it's TexasCreatoroAwards.com, I believe. You can double check me on that. But I think right now, if you go to it, you'll just see the.
We'll get that in the description for him, too.
Yeah, we'll get
the actual links, and we can put that in the description on the video.
But you guys are the first ones I've said anything to about it. So
you're the first to hear
there's your
about it,
scoop.
so there you go.
There's your thing.
So if you are in
watch
Texas, if you dudes are in Texas, dudes and dudettes and other, if
you
y'all
make stuff,
want
you
to
create
come
things,
to Waco
heck
during that time frame and come check everything out. I'll make myself available if anybody wants to do a bois meetup kind of thing.
Oh, heck yeah, that'd be great.
I'll make myself available during that time frame. Just reach out to us at bwaaakoth@gmail. If you send me an email, which I want to read that email that I got. So in the next thing we record after this, I want to make sure we get that in there. So, so we appreciate everybody for sticking around. If you're on the YouTube Live or on the Instagram Live, stick around. We have more recording to go yet.
All right, we just got Rude's Enterprises says, dang it.
Don't go nowhere, Rude.
Don't go anywhere.
We're here.
We're still doing some stuff. So to everybody else, thank you so much. We appreciate it, and we will see you next time. There's one thing left to say.
Oui, Matanye.
Oh, oui, Matanye, indeed. This has been a Rogue Media Network production.